One step above an Ozark Trail, honestly, that's where you're gonna put the Pflueger President at. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today, got a little bit of something different in store for you. But before we get started, let's get one thing out of the way. It's cold. That's right, we're in like the Arctic blast, snowpocalypse, ice storm of 2026 here in North Alabama. And since it's way too cold to get out and go fishing, I got behind the computer screen and I asked OpenAI, also known as ChatGPT, to rank 5 of my mid-size spinning reels to see what it thought was the best one. And I can very honestly say I'm completely disappointed with the results. These are reels that I use, no sponsorships, no gimmicks, nothing like that. These are right off my rods that I use in my videos all the time. And I've got a little bit of insider information on how these reels perform that ChatGPT, it just doesn't have. So first, I'm gonna introduce each reel to you in its own branding hierarchy as far as what each brand considers that reel to be. Second, we'll dive right into how AI ranked these reels based on the criteria that I gave it. And then last but not least, for third, I'm gonna actually review these reels myself and put them in the order that as an end user, I think these should be. You're not gonna wanna miss it because AI really screwed this thing up. And again, this is in no particular order, but up first, we have the Daiwa Crossfire LT4000C. And as we take a look at the Daiwa spinning reel lineup, you'll see that this is kind of a second tier reel. The Crossfire LT comes in anywhere from $45 to $60, and they consider it to be a tough, lightweight reel, hence the LT. And our next contender is the Ozark Trail OTX 300C. There really is no upper end reels because basically Ozark Trail just doesn't choose to compete here. You've got an entry slash disposable level of the OTX grit stick model, and then you've got what they consider to be second tier, if you could even call it that, just a lower budget, slightly improved over the base models, and that's the OTX 300C. Our next contender is the Pflueger President SP30, and you'll see this comes in dead center of the Pflueger lineup. Entry level being a Monarch, then we go up to a more budget-friendly option of a Tryon, and then the President's actually considered upper budget or mid-range, coming in at a price of around 80 bucks. This is their flagship model. Then we have the Lew's Mach model MS300. Again, middle of the road for the Lew's spinning reel lineup, coming in at the budget slash mid-range of about a $50 reel. Slight step up in consistency from the Mach Smash or Mach 1, and then considerably less than the Hyper Mag slash Tournament. That's going to run you over $150. And our last contender in this lineup is the Shimano Sedona C3000. Again, dead center of the Shimano lineup, with the entry level being the FX or Sienna. You can bump it up from there with a Sahara. Sedona falls in that $80 to $100 range, and then you can bump it up even higher with the Stratic or the Stella, pulling in at over double the price of the Sedona. So bottom line is, basically all of these reels that I have accumulated over the years, and I didn't realize this till I had AI do it, is that they're all mid-tier. They're not really on the cheaper end, except for one, and they're not a $200 reel. All of these come in between $50 and $100. But now the part that you came for, we're gonna find out exactly what AI ranked these reels at, and it's important to know just how I worded it, how I asked it, so I'm gonna drop it on the screen right now. First, I asked for an unbiased opinion. I asked it to rank these reels from best to worst for a freshwater weekend angler. So somebody like you and I, we're not talking tournament pros. If you're a tournament pro, you're not buying a $100 reel anyway. Then I ask it to consider the durability, the budget over performance, and then rate it on its strengths and weaknesses. All right, drum roll please. What are the results of what AI had to say? Boom, coming at you. Wow. Little bit of shock, not gonna lie, but these are the results. Coming in at number 1 is the Shimano Sedona, not too surprising, followed by the Daiwa Crossfire, then coming in with the Lew's Mach, and number 4, number 4, the Pflueger President. Man, it really, and then number 5, it's not too surprising. It is the Ozark Trail, the Walmart brand, if you will, of the fishing sport. So number 1, best on balance, performance, and durability is the Shimano Sedona. AI gives it excellent out-of-the-box performance, premium feel for the price, and this one's kind of interesting. Proven performance for fish under 8 pounds. It makes you wonder, did they catch a bunch of 9-pound fish and the reel just flew apart? I don't know, but AI says if you're staying in that range, a great reel according to AI. but there were some caveats to that. AI says it's heavier and less refined than other Shimano's, but again, those Shimano's are probably reels that are a $100 price jump over what the Sedona is. It says that the best uses are for general fishing and that the worst case scenario is where you need really good balance for ultra finesse fishing. To me, that's not an issue. And in at number 2 is the Daiwa Crossfire LT. And it gives this excellent value for the performance. Has a solid drag and reel for freshwater fishing, which is really interesting because I'm going to tell you why I bought this reel in the first place. And they say that it's lightweight and good for all-day fishing. Shimano, Daiwa, Shimano. Says that the parts could be a little bit subpar to the Shimano and the Lew's, but keep in mind it rated Daiwa higher than the Lew's. And then even in its on Daiwa hierarchy of reels, it just says it's not quite as refined as some of the more expensive Daiwas. And what could you really expect anyway? And right in the middle of the lineup of our reels is the Lew's Mox series, with AI touting its machine spool for nice, steady retrieve and smoothness. Also says that the Lew's excels in various fishing conditions, not just the finesse style that I kind of triggered AI with at the beginning, that it will hold up and not feel too underbuilt for a variety of different fishing techniques. The weaknesses that AI gives are that the Lew's is not as smooth as the Shimano Sedona, even pointing fingers and saying that it has middling components. Middling. Fair to middling today. It's just not on par. It's just not up to snuff with the Shimano Sedona, and that end users might sense a slight difference there. But on the flip side of that, it also says that for budget-minded anglers, it is often a toss-up between the Lew's, the Daiwa, and the Shimano. They all have very similar price points, but that the Lew's often feels under top tier of those other models. And number 4 is the Pflueger President. One step above an Ozark Trail, honestly, that's where you're gonna put the Pflueger President at. It even calls it a value classic. It even says it has a loyal following and is incredibly smooth. It goes on to say that it's a good all-around reel. But then it goes on to say that durability variances over time may indicate that parts wear prematurely, and that it's not as smooth as the Sedona or the Daiwa. Oh, please. Pflueger President, a 30 series reel, coming in right now between $80 and $90 at Walmart, has a lot of people thinking that you're getting something really nice. I mean, I kind of saved my money to get a Pflueger, and man, AI just ripping me a new one, man. And coming in one step below a Pflueger President for a fraction of the cost, you too can on an Ozark Trail OTX. Citing its good day-to-day use on a tight budget, yeah, real tight, like 20 bucks. For its price, it is surprisingly smooth, and I gotta say, AI, I'm not even gonna argue with you. Out of the box, this is pretty smooth. It really is. It honestly, it's a pretty smooth reel. But I have a confession to make. I haven't fished this reel much. As a matter of fact, I think I've only had it to the water twice since I've owned it, and I've had it about a year. I stuck it on like a 9-foot crappie rod, and I quickly discovered that 9-foot rod doesn't work well for bank fishing, and so it's just been kind of leaned in a corner. So what you're seeing right now, this is out of the box performance, basically. It's just been leaned in the corner of the carport collecting dust, but it has not been fished much at all, and I have to agree with AI when it says that it's really smooth for what you pay for it. But durability is questionable over the long term. It's a Walmart brand. Ozark Trail is the flagship outdoor brand of Walmart, and they don't even compete in the same tier level as any of the other brands that we have looked at today. So bottom line is solid performance out of the gate, but it's just not gonna match the smoothness, feel, and quality of any of the other brands. And so AI, I think you got this one right. You put it down at the bottom, number 5. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't own one. Doesn't mean that it's not a great way to get into fishing. Doesn't mean that you've not had great experiences with the OTX, but AI likens this to kids' rods. and backup gear. I kind of like that down at the bottom of the thing. And it's backup gear approved. So we don't want it to be your go-to, but throw it behind the seat. And if you happen to have a problem with your other one, you can get this one out. So comment down below right now, did AI do this thing the right way, or do I have a right to be a little bit disgusted with where the Pflueger sits in this lineup? But here is my ranking. In at number 1 is the Ozark Trail. No, I'm just playing. Number 1, and you know, this may be the key where I told AI or ChatGPT to be unbiased. I think I'm just a little bit biased, and there's no reason to be. Nobody sent me this reel for free. I paid for it. But this thing is worn, man. This thing has been used a lot, and it's still the first one that I would put on any rod that I own. It's got to be the Pflueger President. The Pflueger President is number 1. I have owned this reel for about 5 years now. It is rough. It is tough. It's been thrown in the bed of the truck. It's been dropped in the rocks when I'm unhooking fish. It's been in the mud. It's been underwater. And this dude, it just still performs. The Pflueger President is got to be absolutely number 1 in my opinion. It is so smooth on the retrieve. So I'm taking number 4 all the way up to number 1. Pflueger President, you're getting bumped up. You are not just a merely step above the Ozark Trail. You are coming up to number 1 in my reels based on how I fish and the performance that I've seen out of this reel. This reel has been thrown in the bed of the truck. It's been dropped in the rocks while unhooking fish. It's got mud on it. It's been underwater. It's all dinged up and scratched up, and it is still a solid performing reel. I've had this reel for about 5 years, and it never lets me down. And I will put this reel on before any other one that I've owned. I've just seen too much out of it that hasn't been bad, and I haven't seen those durability issues over time. I haven't seen the parts wear down. It is my go-to. The Pflueger President from 4 to number 1, restoring you in your rightful spot. And then dropping from number 1 into number 2, I'm moving the Shimano Sedona down a spot. This is a great reel, and for a long time, this was the coup de grace of the reels that I owned, and then I bought a Pflueger. And I just immediately felt a little bit different there. AI pointed out that it might be slightly heavier, and I don't know that I've ever really noticed that. They feel about the same without, you know, some scales to weigh them. But I had an early on issue with this reel where I accidentally dunked it underwater. I was creek fishing. In one of my very first videos, I was doing a cricket challenge, and I was putting my rod down to get a fish off or get untangled, and I dunked it under the creek, and I immediately pulled it out. And I did a couple of shorts on this, I think, or maybe in my video. I couldn't even turn the handle. And I don't know why. Like, I shook the water out, I took the bail off, I cleaned it out really good, and the handle just wouldn't turn. And I've got to say that since then, and that's been, you know, 3 years ago, this reel has just never performed the same. And if a reel can't get a little bit wet, then what are we doing with it at the water fishing with it? But it does come in at a solid number 2 because it's just well built. It is a well built reel. It's fairly smooth. You can hear a little bit of, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but imagine, take what you're hearing and like transfer it through the handle, and it's just got a little bit of grind in it. But again, left over from that experience I had where it went underwater. And dropping down from number 2 to number 3, I'm putting the Daiwa Crossfire right in the middle of the pack. It is budget friendly, just like AI said. And as a matter of fact, the whole reason I bought this reel to begin with is I already had the Pflueger and the Sedona, and I did not want to use them in salt water. I wanted something cheap, a beater reel to take to the beach with me, and I picked the Daiwa. And it's made 2 or 3 different saltwater fishing trips with me. Great for casting lures in the surf. I clean it out and rinse it out really good when I come back, and this reel still performs well. I mean, it is super smooth. And for the money, I didn't want to risk ruining an $80 to $100 reel when I could pick this one up considerably cheaper. And you know, if something happened to it, it happened to it. But it's actually proven to be pretty durable in both salt and fresh water. Dropping from number 3 to number 4, I'm going to put the Lew's there. And I'm going to be brutally honest. I have hardly ever fished with this reel. This was my wife's grandfather's setup, and he gave it to our oldest son, John Cohen. And JK has used this. He's used it a lot. And this reel, to my knowledge, was mostly ever fished at Grenada Lake Spillway catfishing. And so it's held up over time. This thing has made a lot of trips out. It's been in the rocks, and it's an okay reel, but I need you to tune in. Now, I'm not going to pretend that that's not an easy fix, but the fact that it's there is going to detract a little bit from my rating today, because it's not an issue that I've seen in the first, second, and third place reels that I have ranked. The Lew's, it's coming in at a strong number 4, but I'm just not going to even put it at the same level as the Shimano and the Pflueger. And honestly, the Daiwa, you know, I'm directly reverse of what AI said. We're just keeping them in that 3 and 4 range. And then last up, I'm not arguing with AI. I'm putting the Ozark Trail last. And, you know, I wonder if some of that's just a little bit mentally. I know it's just a $20 to $30 reel. I think I actually paid like $15 for it. And so I don't want to put it over an $80 reel. But I just think that over time, durability is not going to hold up well with this. You can tell it's cheaper made, just the feel of it. Even though it is really smooth, it is a really smooth reel, I just don't think it's going to hold up. And, you know, I haven't fished it a whole lot. I may be shocked and surprised. And, you know, if I really put this thing through the paces, I'll get back on here and I'll eat crow for putting this below some of these other reels. But you and I both know that's probably not, it's not gonna happen. I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna get $20 performance from a $20 product, and that's basically what this is, 20 to 30 bucks. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a different approach to a video style. Sometimes we just gotta make do with what we got, and what we got right now is my fingers are numb. I can't even feel them anymore. I'm fixing to get in the house and get this thing edited out. For all of you who may be stuck at home in this wintry mix, ice storm / snowpocalypse, whatever you want to call it, hopefully we'll make it back out on the water for next week's video. But I've got more fishing reels. If you would like to see something similar to this again, where I ask AI or ChatGPT to just tell me what it thinks and then compare it to my own personal use, be sure you drop a comment down below. It was a pretty fun video to do. It took a lot longer than I thought it would to get filmed out, because I'm not used to speaking something rehearsed. I'm not used to, you know, basically trying to memorize a script from AI and then regurgitate it back to you. So anyway, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, leave a comment down below if you enjoyed it or want to see more, and we'll catch you next time right here on the J-Line.